Hey guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your day. As always, guys, please like, subscribe, and share. Can you make sure that you're subscribed? And again, half of you don't seem to be. Doesn't cost anything, means a lot to me. Give me a shot. If you don't like me, unsubscribe. No big deal. Guys, I wanted to pivot here, if it's all right. I talk a lot about Gypsy Rose. A lot of you guys like Gypsy Rose. Some of you are like, I'm so sick of Gypsy Rose. Okay, I'm sick of Gypsy Rose too at times, but there are times she does things that just fascinate the hell out of us, right? But there is more going on in this world, and unfortunately, there's a lot of bad, dark stuff. So that's where Gypsy's comic relief comes into play sometimes as well, in all fairness. When we hear things like the Idaho 4, that's 4 people gone. It's not just a state and 4 names or some sort of title that you put on, a movie or One Night in Idaho, right? What happened in Moscow, Idaho, right? I mean, there's 4 people unalived by apparently one guy. One guy whose reasoning, it seems, if we're to believe his plea deal and his admit of guilt, he did it more or less for the thrill of it. Because we don't really have any connection. There isn't any connection between Brian and any of those 4 girls or the 4 victims. I'm sorry, there was a gentleman, Ethan Chapin, that was taken out that night or that early morning. The randomness of that, the gall, the audacity. I don't know if Brian did this and if he did it on his own. To me, to commit that kind of crime for your first, if it's his first, and nothing more is going to come out because Brian got a plea deal. So if there's anything that built up to the 4 unaliving, I mean, if he had the audacity to walk into a party house, and I don't mean any disrespect, but a high school, a college town, a party house where you never know who's coming and who's going, when somebody's going to go to bed, when somebody's not. How many people are actually in that house? You don't know that. So the amount or the element of surprise, the amount of surprise that could be. How does one person have the confidence to unalive with a KNIFE? That's up close and personal. You have to have confidence in that. And then he does. He walks away, apparently, if we're to believe that he did it. How random is that? 4 kids come home. One of them gets DoorDash, talking on their phone, tweeting, social media, watching stuff, texting each other. And then you got one guy who comes in and just takes away 4 lives. That's random. And then you have a school teacher who goes out hiking and ends up murdering, a father and a mother, who apparently, it seems that this teacher, again with the KNIFE, up close and personal, on this popular hiking path, Devil's Den, Arkansas. It was busy. It was busy that weekend. It was busy. And yet, this guy has the audacity to go into that park, go on that hike with the intention of doing something to people That's what it sounds like right now. Remember? Because the license plate, he had some duct tape on the license plate to obscure his tag. How does he have the audacity to know that he could take on two adults? He went after the dad first, apparently, but apparently he was going after the girls. That's what they said. We don't. This stuff coming out now, it's still a very fluid case. But again, the audacity. How does somebody have the audacity to take away? Is it? I'm beginning to think. I have a theory of what's going on. I'm beginning to think that we all feel so effing numb. Seriously. That we have to do these big, gigantic things to feel anything. Could that possibly be what's going on here? Because the uptick in these crazy crimes that are so random, the anger that we have right now in this country, the road rage, the fighting among us, among ourselves, and we have these random crimes. It's just absolutely nuts. I want to talk more about this stuff on the channel. It is a true crime channel, and this is something that I do want to speak about. Guys, I was talking to Rebecca Mitchell, Corey's grandma. Corey was unalived by his dad, and it's almost like people forgot who Corey was. But his grandmother's not going to let that happen. His family's not going to let that happen. We're not going to let that happen. It seems like it's social media. It's social media that is making the difference here. Because the news sensationalizes these crimes and then they don't speak about them again. Where social media keeps picking them up. It's almost like looking for gold. Seriously. It's almost like looking for gold. You pick up a bunch of dirt, you put it in the pan, you shake it up, you throw some water on it, and you sift through it. And you're looking for the gold. And then it goes down to the pan below and the pan below, and by the time you get it, you're going to find the finest little bits of gold. And that's what I think social media is doing now. I think social media is looking at cold cases and looking at slightly older cases that the news has just repurposed, talked about something else. Is that why there's so many plea deals? Because nobody's holding people accountable and we're just not loud enough in social media right now? That's what I would like to know. I feel like there's absolutely way too many plea deals, and I think that it's ridiculous because this isn't justice for the victims. And you don't know what you're leaving. Pretend it's money that you're leaving on the table. You might be leaving somebody else's closure on the table. Brian Koberger will never know now if that's where he started, if that was his only crime. Matty Soto, Stefan Stearns, he doesn't have to implicate Jen Soto. Jen Soto gets to walk away? Really? Because he had a plea deal. He didn't even need a plea deal. Nobody wants to do their job anymore. This is ridiculous. Guys, I don't know what's going on as far as, where we're at in this world and what's happening in this world. But let's talk about it. This is Issues with Toddy One-Skip. I am Toddy One-Skip. Be better today than you were yesterday. Not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Thanks, guys.